Hi guys, I hope you're having a good summer so far. I sure miss seeing you in Sunday school. I hope it won't be too long before we can get together again. Well, remember I told you last week that we were finished talking about Moses, but we're still going to be in the Old Testament. And this week we're going to start talking about Samuel. Now, just like Moses, at the beginning of his story, he was a little baby. And at the beginning of today's story, Samuel is maybe about 5 years old. And his mother is taking him to the temple or the tabernacle, the sanctuary, to live with an old priest named Eli. And Eli is getting old and he can't quite do all the things around the tabernacle that he's supposed to, so he needs somebody to help. So Samuel today is about 5 or 6 and his mom takes him to live with Eli, which doesn't sound like a great idea today, but it was a normal thing back in biblical times. Young boys went and worked in the temple and helped as they could. So let's listen today and see what happens with Samuel.
Stories of the Bible. God speaks to Samuel. This is Samuel.
Hi!
Samuel was the son of Hannah.
Hey, Samuel!
Hannah prayed for God to give her a son, and God did. So Hannah gave Samuel back to God.
See you, Samuel. Bye, Mom.
And Samuel grew up in the temple serving under Eli, the priest.
Hi, Eli.
As Samuel grew up, he learned how to serve God from Eli. Samuel lived in the house of God, but he did not know God or what God's voice sounded like. In those days, messages from God were rare. But one night after Eli had gone to bed, Samuel was sleeping in the tabernacle when suddenly God called out, "Samuel!"
Huh?
Samuel got up and ran to Eli and said, "Did you call me?"
Not me.
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. Then God called out again, "Samuel!"
Huh?
And again Samuel got up and ran to Eli asking, "Did you call me?"
Not me.
Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back to bed." So Samuel did. God called Samuel for a third time, "Samuel!"
Huh?
And Samuel went to Eli yet again. After 3 times, Eli realized that God was trying to speak to Samuel. So Eli taught Samuel to say, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening."
Okay.
Samuel went back to bed, and God came and called as before, "Samuel, Samuel!" And Samuel said, "Speak, your servant is listening." God told him many things about what would happen to Israel. As Samuel grew up, God was with him, and everything God spoke through Samuel came true. Samuel was seen as a great prophet of God because he could hear the voice of God, and he listened when God spoke to him.
Well, did you guess who was talking to Samuel in the middle of the night? I think I would have been a little bit afraid, but Samuel was so brave and he kept going to Eli, and this is really Samuel's beginning as a prophet for God. This story happens about 400 years after Moses died. You remember when he went into, or he didn't quite get into the promised land, but he saw the promised land and then he passed away, and now 400 years has gone by, and Samuel is a little boy, and he grows up to be a prophet, and he continues to hear God's voice throughout his whole life. And next week we will have a story when Samuel is a grown man. So please bow your head with me and let's say today's prayer. Please repeat after me. Here I am, God. What do you want me to do? Amen. That pretty much says it all. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.